Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Nohemy, and in today's video we're going to talk about how to prioritize your health in 3 areas of your life: physically, mentally, and emotionally. Now everything I'm going to share with you in today's video are things that I do to prioritize my health. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump right in. So I do have my cell phone here in front of me and I have everything kind of listed out, so I do apologize if I look down at my cell phone. Just want to make sure that I don't miss anything with you guys. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump right in, starting with how to prioritize your health physically. Now I'm going to go ahead and hit the basics, starting with diet and exercise. Now, as you guys know, as a personal trainer, diet and exercise is a priority for me. However, there are people that don't prioritize diet and exercise, so it does need to be said and mentioned. Prioritizing your diet is very important, making sure you're getting the right micronutrients as well as macronutrients, and diet goes hand in hand with exercise, ensuring that you're exercising consistently, at least 2 to 3 times a week, depending on what your lifestyle looks like. So first step in prioritizing your health physically is by prioritizing your diet and your exercise. Now exercise, it doesn't have to be weightlifting. Exercise could be anything that interests you when it comes to physical health. It could be dancing, it could be weightlifting, it could be CrossFit, it could be jiu-jitsu. There's so many different ways you can incorporate exercise into your lifestyle. It really depends on what you're interested in. And the same thing goes for diet. There's not one right diet, one way to diet. There's various diets out there that you can follow. You just gotta find out what works best for you. So moving on for that, next way to prioritize your health physically is by taking a look at your hair, your skin, and your nails. These are great indicators of health. I actually recently shared a lot of my routines with you, my hair care routine and my skin care routine, and I believe I do have a previous older video with my nail care routine. So I'll be sure to link those videos in the description box below if you guys want to check them out. But yeah, just taking a look at your hair, your skin, and nails, those are great indicators of health, as far as, is your hair healthy? How does it look? Is it brittle? Is it weak? Is your hair falling out? Is your hair changing colors? Are you taking care of it? Are you getting it trimmed regularly? How do your ends look? Same thing can be said for your skin. Are you taking care of your skin? Do you have a skincare routine? Are you using SPF when you go out in the sun? Do you have any skin conditions that may need to be addressed? Do you have oily skin? Do you have dry skin? So definitely taking a look at your skin, seeing if you have acne or, if any foods trigger acne, things to take, into consideration. And then also your nails, do you have long nails? Do you have short nails? Are your nails weak? Are they constantly breaking? Do you have the bad habit of biting your nails? So definitely taking a look at your hair, your skin, and your nails and making them a priority, is definitely a great way to prioritize your health physically. There's a saying that I always say, when you look good, you feel good. And so a great way that I prioritize that I look good is taking a look at my hair, my skin, and my nails. And so the last thing I want to mention on how to prioritize your health physically is by making sure that you're seeing your doctors every year. So during the pandemic, I didn't see all my doctors. I saw a couple of them at the beginning of the year just for my regular, physicals and checkups. But when the pandemic took place, it really wasn't a priority for me to go see my dentist or go see my eye doctor. And so I didn't see all my doctors last year, but I usually do make it a point to see my doctors every year, even if I'm in good health. So even if you feel fine, it's really important for you to go and see your doctors regularly, get physicals, get your blood work drawn, and just get that information, get that data, because you don't know what's going on internally in your body. So it's really important to make sure that you do go and see your doctors regularly, because it's a great way to prevent something from happening, right? If you're able to catch something early on, you're able to, rectify it rather than, waiting till after the fact when it might be a little too late to fix whatever the issue is. So those are the 3 ways on how I prioritize my health, with a diet and exercise, checking in with my hair, my skin, and my nails, and ensuring that I see my doctors every year. All right, so next we're going to jump into how to prioritize your health mentally. Now this is probably my favorite category and advice that I'm going to be giving in today's video. So the first is taking a break. Now when I say taking a break, I mean taking vacation time off from work, and also taking a break from working out. So making sure that you're taking rest days. Those are the 2 areas that I really want to focus on. I know a lot of people who let their vacation time accumulate and they don't take any time off from work, or you know, they end up just letting it roll over and roll over to the point where they end up losing it if they don't use it. And so they never really take the time to take time off. And it's really important that you do, just because you've earned that time off. And, you know, taking a break from that hustle culture, which, you know, we're all familiar with, where, you know, they talk about, you know, working late nights and constantly working on, you know, whatever it is that you're doing in life. Just, it's good to take a break, you know, take some vacation time, because when you take a break, obviously you're able to kind of, you know, rest and recover, but you're also able to come back to work with a new perspective, with fresh eyes, and, you know, kind of get the creative juices flowing, which, you know, might have gotten stagnant because you're constantly looking at the same thing every single day. So it's really important to take a break, not just the 15 to 20 minutes, you know, from working here and there, but actually taking a break, like taking your time off, taking an extended period of time off from whatever it is that you're doing, because when you go back to it, you'll appreciate it that much more. And like I said, you'll look at it with fresh eyes and a new perspective. And the same thing goes for working out. I know a lot of people that work out consistently, but they don't really make it a priority to take rest days. And rest days are where you see the most progress, where your body gets to rest and recover. And, you know, so that when you do go back to the gym and work out, you're better fit, you know, you have a better, you know, you're better fit to work out, you get a better workout in, you're working more efficiently, more effectively, and just, you know, you just feel so much better when you take some time off from the gym versus constantly, you know, breaking your body down over and over again and not giving it time to put itself back together. So that is my first tip on how to prioritize your health mentally, is taking time off, taking a break, taking some vacation time, and taking rest days from the gym. Now, the next way I prioritize my health mentally is by reading. So I've always been a reader ever since I was little. I don't know if you guys remember those reading lists that the teachers would assign over the summer. I would always read those reading lists, but I've always been a reader, and just, I think it's really important to continue to read, even as an adult. I know a lot of people that once they're done with school, they don't pick up a book ever again. You know, whether it's, you know, for learning or work related or school related, or even if it's just for, you know, for personal, that's what I want to use. Even if it's just for pleasure, right? You know, a nonfiction book or a fiction book, you know, they don't pick up a book after they're done with school, and so they're never learning. They kind of stop learning, and when you get stagnant like that, you know, it's not good. Like, I love to read about personal development. I know recently here on my channel we talked about Atomic Habits. It's a book that I read recently, and I kind of revamped all of my routines. And so I personally like to read just to keep my mind sharp, you know, and I read about various topics. Recently has been a lot about personal development, but I've read a lot of business books to help me with my business, learning new skill sets, learning new things. And even with my personal training certification, I have to constantly be taking additional courses to continue my education, to keep my certification. And so I think that's great, and I love the fact that I have that certification, and it kind of forces me to do that, because, you know, I don't ever want to get stagnant. I don't want to ever stop learning. So to kind of keep my mind sharp, I do prioritize reading, and I don't read like a certain amount of books like a week or a day or a month. I guess you could say I do. I usually try to read one book a month, and I usually just go at my own pace. Sometimes I'll read a couple pages a day, or maybe a chapter a day, but I do like to read every day a little bit. And once I'm done reading, I don't just jump into the next subject. I really marinate on what I read and try to apply whatever it is that I read to my life, you know, put it in practice. That way it really stuck, because knowledge is power, but I mean, knowledge is just, you know, acquired power, like action. When you take action on what you learned, that really is the power. So yeah, so definitely highly recommend that you guys start reading, even if it's a little bit to start off, if you're not a reader. And if you're not a reader, they do have podcasts and audiobooks that you can take advantage of. So definitely different ways to go about reading, but highly recommend it. Now, the last way that I prioritize my health mentally is by doing a brain dump. So I do struggle with anxiety from time to time, and while I was on YouTube one night, I came across a video by Mel Robbins where she explained how to overcome anxiety. And it was such a simple concept, but I loved it so much that I implemented it, and it worked, and I continue to implement it to this day, and just, it's definitely helped me with my anxiety. So what she did in this video, basically she had a cup of water in her hand over a sink, and she had a pitcher of water in another hand. And so she started filling the cup of water, or the cup, with the pitcher of water, and as she was doing this, she was describing what anxiety felt like. You know, that you feel tightness in your chest, that you can't breathe, that you feel like you're drowning. And as she continued to describe it, you know, the cup that she was holding in her hand ended up overflowing with water into the sink. And she's like, you want to know how you get rid of anxiety? She just emptied the cup of water into the sink. And I was just like, what? Like I said, it's a really simple concept. Basically, she said, write everything that you have on your mind on a piece of paper. Just dump it out. Do a brain dump. And I did. And then, you know, the next time that I felt anxious, you know, I did exactly what I saw her do in this video. You know, I just took everything that was on my mind and just wrote it down on a piece of paper. Literally every single thing, even the most simplest, if it's a one word or a phrase or a checklist, whatever I had on my mind, I just wrote it down on this piece of paper. And I don't remember what she said to do afterwards in this video, but I know what I did. And basically I kind of looked at the paper and I started to put things into categories. I realized that a lot of the things that I wrote down were just like worries, were a lot of things that weren't in my control. And so I just kind of crossed those things off immediately, like, okay, I can't impact this. So, you know, I'm going to put this aside. And what I was left with were things that I can control, that I could impact, that I could change. And so then I started to categorize those items, right? Like, you know, maybe some things were house related, like house chores. Some things were business related. And some things were maybe me running some errands, getting some things done off my checklist or off my to-do list. And so once I did that, I felt so much better and just felt very calm, and that anxious feeling just went away. And so every time I feel anxious, this is what I do. I do a brain dump, and just mentally, it just gives me so much clarity on, like, you know, how I'm feeling and what matters and what doesn't matter. And yeah. So another way I recommend prioritizing your health mentally is by doing regular brain dumps. And so I usually do a brain dump once a week. If I have a lot going on, I may do a brain dump more often, maybe twice a week. It really depends on what all I have going on. But for the most part, at least once a week, getting everything out on paper really just puts things in perspective, calms my nerves, and I'm able to focus on what really needs my attention versus feeling anxious about everything all at once. So yeah, and then let's see here. How to prioritize your health emotionally. So the 3 things that I do are, first, deep breathing. So whenever I'm feeling any emotion, like whether it's joy or excitement, anger, sadness, whatever it is, I focus on deep breathing. So there's various deep breathing exercises that you can do, that you can look up, but I like to start off with doing some deep breathing, and this kind of helps me figure out what my emotional state is. You know, what emotion am I feeling exactly? Am I feeling happy? Am I feeling sad? Am I feeling joy? Am I feeling, ecstatic? Like, what am I feeling right now? So I take some deep breaths, and that kind of helps center me and help me figure out, okay, what am I feeling right now? What is this emotion? So that's a great way to start. And then I like to meditate. So whatever it is, whatever I'm feeling, I like to meditate on it. Like, all right, what emotion was triggered and why? And I'll meditate on that. And I've learned, just doing that self-reflection, what triggers, certain emotions out of me. And I've been able to control that as I've gotten older, which is really interesting. It was difficult to do when I was younger, but as I've gotten older, I've gotten really better at that. And, being more aware of, who I am as a person and what triggers what, it's really important. So definitely meditation is great. Meditation was hard for me to do at first. I did a couple of guided meditations to kind of get into the routine of it, and now I've gotten to the point where I don't need guided meditations. I'm able to meditate on my own, and yeah, so meditation definitely helps. And then the last thing that I like to do is I like to journal. So journaling I find very therapeutic. I prefer to journal versus talking to somebody, just because when I'm journaling, I'm able to get, all my emotions out and just, kind of really, do another self-reflection essentially, or really find clarity in what I'm feeling and why. And so what I do when I journal is I don't journal every day. I journal whenever, the feeling comes about, right? Whenever I feel like journaling or feel the need to journal, I'll journal. And I like to keep my journal for a year from the current date. And from time to time when I'm journaling, sometimes I'll look back at, this time last year, what was I doing? What emotional state was I in? What all was going on at that point in my life. And it's nice to be able to kind of do a comparison on, this time last year, this is where I was at. This time this year, this is where I'm currently at. And so, so that's really been helpful for me. And I don't like to keep my journal more than a year, just because I don't know, I just have this morbid idea if anything were to ever happen to me, if I had like years of journals just, you know, sprout around somewhere that somebody could find and read, like I would be mortified. So I only keep my journals for 1 year, but you know, I find that very helpful for me to be able to look back and reflect where I was this point last year and, you know, kind of put things in perspective. And so yeah. So those are the 3 things that I do to prioritize my health emotionally. I do deep breathing exercises, I meditate, and I journal. And yeah. So those are all the ways on how I prioritize my health physically, mentally, and emotionally. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have any questions, feel free to comment down below. Don't forget to like this video by giving me a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I upload videos every Sunday and Thursday. Until next time, bye guys.